Right, we are back for our coffee chat, although I've got my mint tea here, so we'll call it a mint tea chat. You've got
I
your
have,
Asea.
I have sage.
You've got sage. I've got my big sage. You can see I will come on to this. I've been using this a lot this week. I've needed to. So today we are really excited because we've both got our giveaways that we're going to announce at the end of the show and launch a new giveaway for next week. So stay tuned. See whether you've been lucky enough. Brice has got loads of giveaways. I've got all the names in the box here to draw live out. So stay to the end of the show and see who's won some fantastic Asea goodies. And linking sort of into everything to do with health and wellness, our communities, Brice, they're really aware of the concept of we are all energy. We're really aware of the concept of connection within it. But let's talk, we're going to have a bit of a practical talk today about how we can really maximize our own internal energy to really live the best life possible. And start off in one of the things that is really easy for everyone to do, which is the exercise side of things, and really getting people to understand just how many aspects of your mind, body, soul exercise really affects.
Absolutely. And it's interesting, I'll say, because we're living collectively in a time where you can go your whole day without lifting a finger if you didn't want to. Our ancestors were not that lucky, so they were constantly using their body in ways to just to survive, to channel their energy. And it's because we are made up of energy. Obviously, everything, we know this, everything, like we do this exercise even in yoga. If you put your in Reiki does it, if you put your
Yes,
hands like this and hold it for a while, you can start to feel that chi or prana, another word for it, moving through your hands. That is what's flowing throughout your body. And the thing about being a human being, the obstacle of being human, we'll say, the puzzle, not an obstacle, it's nothing's really an obstacle, it's just a puzzle that a riddle you get to solve, is that you are an immortal soul living in a mortal body, and the body is that expression of the soul for the time being. And that is why physical exercise is mandatory when it comes, or as my teacher in India says, compulsory. We don't really use the word compulsory much in America. We say mandatory, but it says compulsory, in order to have a spiritual awakening, because the body is that expression of that soul. It's like a dancer isn't a dancer if they're not dancing, right? If you say you're a dancer but you never dance, you're not a dancer. Humaning is the same thing. And that's something that I think is such a beautiful we've seen the opposite end of exercise, where people try to punish themselves. They use exercise to abuse themselves. That's not what we're talking about. And when you can shift your perspective, a whole new world starts to open up to you, because the body is temporary, because it's not eternal. That means it's a part of nature, and nature has what they call a samskaric cycle, where there's a birth, a life, and a death, a beginning, a middle, and end. And because of that samskaric cycle, it's always in a state of change, constantly. And that's the soul isn't, but the body is. And so that's what I want people to understand with exercise, is that you start to discover so much about yourself and what actually lies within when you start to move that energy.
absolutely. And just from a basic physiology point of view, I mean, we could have a whole separate discussion on where we came from as humans, where we evolved from, where our ancestors are from. But where we are right now, where we have been for thousands of years, our bodies do not work properly if we don't move them. So if we don't move them properly, we cannot get hydration to our cells, whether that's in our brain, whether it's in our gut, whether it's any other cell of the body. You cannot get oxygen properly to your cells. You can't feed your microbiome. Sorry, my hair's going mad this morning. You can't feed your microbiome. So most people listening to this, I think you and I are really lucky, Brice, because we've got really, really educated listeners who have done a lot of self-work. But our microbiome, we as humans in this physical body now, we have got far more bacterial, fungal, parasite cells within us than we have human cells. So we are a living community. And that community cannot thrive without exercise, because movement and that shift in the energy, as we talk about, energy can't be created or destroyed. It can just be transmuted. You've got to keep that energy moving for physical health, for emotional health, for spiritual health. and to really keep everything functioning. And the great thing is, what we're talking about this, we're very lucky in this day and age that we have a choice, but choices can also give different problems, because it's very easy these day and age for a lot of us to be very lazy. As you say, there's a lot of us that could spend the whole day and not have to hardly move at all, whilst our ancestors didn't have that issue. But therefore, we've got to be more conscious about our choices, because when you do start that movement, whether it's your physical body, that will start the movement of your thoughts and your emotions. And we've talked a lot about shaking things off. You can see my dog doing it in the background. Good old Indy. She's shedding her fur at the moment, so she's really itchy. But this is what we want to do, is we want to be constantly shifting that energy, and movement is absolutely key to that. And when we start incorporating that into our lives, or whatever level you're drawn to start it from, you'd be amazed at how much of your opinions, your attitude, your knowing, your intuition shifts as well.
Your confidence, your strength.
Yes.
It's even, when I started to study the missing books of the Bible, they would often refer to blood as the sacred blood. And I like that, because I started to think about, like for example, I'm O negative. Now, one of my really good friends is also O negative, and we always laugh because we're the universal donors, but we can only receive with each other. So we've already promised each other a kidney if one needed it, because we can only take from each other. But my friend who's O negative, she's Black. But
Yes.
isn't that interesting? We both have the same blood type, but if you were to pull our blood and look, it would give a totally different DNA composure of who we
Yeah.
are. So your blood is your sacred DNA. And so what starts to happen, especially in proper traditional yoga, there is cardio. You should be sweating. You absolutely should be sweating in your yoga class. If you're not, there's something, you're not doing it right? The heart rate needs to come up. Why is that? The cardiovascular, the vascular system, it's an activation of the pumping of the blood. Why? Because the blood has to come back into the heart to then be cleansed to come out, because that's what's going to heal you. And like the calves, for example, your calves are considered your second heart. They're responsible for taking the blood that pools at the bottom of your body and bringing it back to the heart. That's part of the reason why inversions are important. If you are not strong enough to do a headstand, and you put your legs up the wall for 20 minutes. Putting your legs up the wall for 20 minutes post-exercise will start to even affect your digestive system and its cleansing.
Absolutely.
And it's such a beautiful, and that's not, I mean, I say, I know I've been doing this for 17 years. So yes, my level of physical activity is going to be a lot higher than someone who's just starting off. But that's okay, because we're always meeting ourselves at a place of resistance. Where is there resistance? Because that's when there is going to be a breakthrough and there's going to be change in the body. So only, I was telling Catherine before we started filming, they're saying now it only takes like 8 minutes to really activate a sense of change in the body. And it's interesting. I tell, yeah, exercise can be uncomfortable, but there's beauty in being uncomfortable in that moment. If you can bring yourself into that burning sensation of the quadriceps or whatever's happening, if you can bring yourself into that and observe what your body is really doing in that moment, it's such an incredible experience. And in the Emerald Tablets, and Tablet 7, Thoth says the only reason why we understand life is because we have a concept of death.
Yeah.
And so when our soul is without a body, when our soul is just a soul, the soul doesn't even know life, because it's not dealing with the tango of eventual mortality. And so in saying that, I say this to my class a lot, especially in my lead classes, because the Ashtanga practice is incredibly challenging. And I always say to my students, this day and age, and for our ancestors too, we spend so much time trying not to die that we forget to actually live. And an exercise, even when you're feeling that, the mind starts to negotiate with you, oh, you should stop because this is uncomfortable. Even in experiencing that and feeling the blood, actually bringing yourself into the pumping of the heart and feeling the blood, you can feel it moving through your system to really experience that. That's you being alive.
Absolutely.
And that's such a beautiful thing to actually, and then over time you start to realize, I always say, in the traditional yoga, we're putting our legs behind our head, we're doing handstands and back flips and catching it's very Cirque du Soleil. But most teachers, like, I never talk to my students. I never push their flexibility. I never say to a student, you need to get more flexible, because flexibility is fleeting. It will come. The one thing that all teachers will say is, you got to get stronger. You got to get, even in a handstand, get stronger, get stronger. Why? Because it's not even really about the physical body itself. When you start to realize your body is getting stronger and you're doing things that at one point you didn't think were possible, something happens to your confidence, something happens to your perspective on life. You become more grounded, you become less delusional, because you all of a sudden are not having to live in an imaginary world. You can live within your world because you understand how magical you actually are. I mean, that's one of the most exciting things in the Mysore room. You get a beginner in and they're watching these more advanced students do these crazy postures, and they're like, oh, I'll never do that. I'll never. And then one day they're doing it. Or one day they'll say, I think I can do that. I think it's possible. I'm like, of course it's possible. God's given you everything you need in your body. You have all the muscles, you have all the blood, you got all the tendons, all the ligaments. God's given you a whole full tool set. It's up to you to use it. And what a gift that is. What a gift
Yeah.
that is.
And it is about using it or losing it and having fun in the process. So I've just started going to the gym again. I haven't been I'm not a gym person normally, because I do so much exercise with the animals and the gardening and everything. But I really thought, I'm really been called to go to the gym. So I was working this morning, 5:30 in the morning, absolutely did not feel like going. By the time I finished, I felt absolutely amazing. And what was really interesting is our bodies give us so much feedback. So I know when I'm sort of lifting stuff for the horses and doing their water and everything, I'm very right-handed. I use my right hand a lot for that. And so my right hand and left leg are really a lot stronger than the other side. So when I was doing certain of these exercises and I could see that imbalance, it was really fantastic, because when you're in balance in different sides of your body, it's affecting your energy channels, your chakras, everything else. So it's fantastic feedback to me to say, oh, okay, this makes sense. Now I can see how that's knocking on into other areas of my life as well. So I don't see it as like, oh my goodness, I've got really out of balance. I thought, how fantastic. Now I've really got something that I can measure. Now I've got something that I can really go for and develop. And it's just our bodies are so needing to move to get that, like horses. A lot of people keep horses now in stables or small paddocks, and the spleen is a really important organ for all animals. It's a storage, energetically, it's very important for storage of emotions, but it's also a blood storage organ in a lot of animals. And if horses are not allowed to do explosive galloping, their spleen holds stagnant blood. And you start to see that in their attitude, in their immune system, in their emotional health. It has a huge impact on their gut health. So nature doesn't design these things by accident. And the same goes for us. If we have that stagnation in our body, no wonder we're depressed. No wonder we're easily programmable. No wonder we can't get our heart and brain into coherence. No wonder that we follow unstable leaders. You know, humans are the only species in the whole of the planet that follow unstable leaders, and it's deliberate. It's a deliberate agenda to do it. That's Cesar Millan that came up with that one, and I just, it was such an aha moment for me. And you don't do it when you function as you're meant to be functioning. You only do it when you feel a victim, either consciously or subconsciously, because you know you haven't got the inherent energy, mental, physical, spiritual, to run your own life properly. So you outsource it to others.
That's brilliant. And that's why you see in these ancient texts, not just through India, but also in Egypt, the priestesshood of Isis, they required physical exercise. You could not be an initiate or a student in this spiritual faith without doing exercise, because they're one and the same. And again, I'm not saying, guys, we're not saying it to be Olympic. It's 10-minute walk.
Yes.
Start there. Start at a 10-minute walk. And one of my favorite Marnie Alton quotes: doesn't matter how fast you're going if you're going in the wrong direction. Likewise, it doesn't matter how slow you're going if you're going in the right direction. You
Well,
don't have to like do a 2-hour, yoga practice. I've been doing this for 17 years. That's where my resistance level is right now, right? So you just do anything to get your blood pumping. And you're right. It can suck while you're in there and all these thoughts are coming up, and man, it's like you're having this like negotiation, your brains, you should stop, you're going to die, you should stop, but when you're done, it's a euphoric feeling. It's such a euphoric feeling. And I know like people come up with a lot of excuses. I've seen it as a teacher myself. I literally, there's very few excuses that are literal excuses to me. And I don't know if I've talked about this before. I won't say his name, but at AYA, Ashtanga Yoga Atlanta, we have a student who has been a student for years now. He has cerebral palsy. So one of his arms does this, he's got a lot of health issues because of it. And he comes in every single day. He doesn't complain. He works hard. He needs a lot of help, a lot of adjustments, a teacher there to stabilize him. And he told Todd once that it had saved his arm. That they were contemplating having to like take off his arm, but the yoga had corrected some things. And I always tell students that are starting off at AYA that this particular person, he'll never finish primary series in this life. Like it's just not going to happen. He's going to be at the Yoga Chikitsa for the rest of his life. But in my mind, he is the most advanced student we have at that shala.
Yeah.
Because he's already got obstacles, and I'm telling you guys, he does not complain. He never complains. He never uses his issues as an excuse. And so I always tell students, I don't care if you can stand up with your leg behind your head. Have you seen this student here? Have you seen what he's doing? That's somebody who's really dedicated. And we do practice like in traditional yoga, we practice really early in the morning. And I do get that a lot. People are like, oh, I'm not a morning person. No one is.
No, absolutely. But you become it. And when you look at so many of the spiritual teachers and gurus, I always remember Wayne Dyer sort of saying that morning time is when you're so connected. Look at
nature. Yeah.
I get up really early to do the animals, and every single morning still, trust me, there's that thought of like, should I have a bit longer in bed? But when I'm up with the birds and the wild animals and I'm seeing them going about and collecting their food and getting about their day and hearing their noise and their energy, it's such a special time. So you never regret it. You never hear someone that's got up really early in the morning saying by mid-morning, oh, I really regretted getting up early. It's a bit like many other issues that we can't talk about, the ones that do certain things. There's some decisions that people never say they regret. Now, lots of people, myself included, I often regret going to bed too late, but I never, ever, ever regret once I'm up getting up too early. And it's so easy, isn't it? If you're going to the airport or something exciting, you can spring out of bed like that. So that's another good indicator of okay, if you're finding it challenging to do it, just chip into your why. What is your why of why you're doing it? And you really can start so small. It literally is just tiny, tiny steps. As you said, I love what you were saying, Marnie Alton said, about it doesn't matter how long it takes if you're going in the right direction. But so many of us can work so hard paddling upstream.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's so funny, like going to the gym or going to a shala. Yeah, you're right. Like 17 years later, my alarm goes off at 4 a.m. I'm like, should I, I still struggle with that, but I know at this point it's a sadhana. It's that's why if you're from the Christian faith, that's why they're called disciples. That comes from the word discipline, which comes from sadhana, is how we say it in Sanskrit. It's devotional. You're devoting time to yourself. And that early morning hour is called Brahma Muhurta in the Hindu lineage, which Brahma is God. So it's the time of God. And it's like from 2 a.m. to 6 a.m., that's the Vata time. If you like an hour and a half before the sun rises, that is when that's that intense, real potent Brahma Muhurta. And that is why so many different religions and spiritual practices use early morning as their time, because it is when you are the closest to your connection to the divine, whatever you believe in, because the world is quiet at that point. I remember many years ago, I used to teach at a studio in Brookhaven, which is an area of Atlanta, and I would teach a late evening class. And there was a guy that owned a business next to the studio, but it was just kind of his office, and it wasn't like a store. So he was really kind. I was really younger at the time, and so he would, whenever I was teaching my late class, he would hang out and wait for me to finish to make sure I got to my car safely because it was dark outside. And he said he would talk to me a lot about, he was a runner and he would get up early in the morning and go run. And I'll never forget him saying, because it's the same as for yoga. He'd be like, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm running through the streets of downtown Atlanta. And he was like, it's so magical. He's like, it's almost like this inside little secret I have where I feel like the city is just mine. It's God in me. And that's it. This busy city, a couple hours, it's going to be traffic honking. The mart is going to be running, the subway system, people everywhere, but in this moment it's just me and it's God, and that's it. And that's why a lot of people love that early morning time. Yes, it's still hard to get out of bed. Yes, the ego is going to negotiate with you and want you to convince you need to sleep in, but you never regret it. And there things start to happen when you get up that early and work out again. Only if it's like a 20-minute walk, the rest of your day is so much more productive. You're so much more willing to get things done and start moving and get your shit done. And you become there was a joke when one of my teachers used to say, like, when women started practicing Mysore, coming in early in the morning for Mysore, at first their husbands would complain because they were getting up so early, the alarm was going off. But then after a while, the husbands were kicking them out of the bed to go because they just became so much more pleasant of a person to be around, because they were moving that energy,
Mm.
and all the stagnant. If you ever thought, we talked about this, like, there's ever a time like I'm really freaking angry about something. If I were to sit and meditate at that moment, I would probably just be thinking of all these things bad that could happen to that person I'm mad at. But if I go exercise first, that anger dissipates so I can think more logically and be more grounded within myself for any form of meditation. Exercise is literally one of the most important things anyone can do. Again, even if it's just walking for 10 minutes, start there. And you're right, Catherine. Like, I think about like Ravi, we take him on like really long walks because he's a street dog. He's not bred, but he's been conditioned to be very fit. And so we go on long ones with him. And at the end of the walk, we know it's a good walk when he is like rushing to try to get home with his tongue's hanging out of his mouth and he just wants to get back inside and lay down on the floor. And even in that moment, the next day, if you even say the word walk, he gets excited again.
Yeah,
Because he wants it's that moving of energy. It's that the animals just know. It's like the zoomies they get, when they get the zoomies and they want to just
they do that all the time. They love their zoomies. I recorded yesterday with the most amazing lady, Angelica Allen, who's in Australia, and she's a stage 3 bowel cancer thriver, really thriving, and she is fantastic. We've done a show, it will be going up sometime over the next few days, on habits. And when she was going through her chemotherapy and she had 2 young children, and this had just completely come not out of nowhere now when she looks back, but at the time it had apparently come out of nowhere. She just would do the walking in her kitchen on the spot because, she wasn't strong enough to go out. So then if you're in a city and you're thinking, well, I don't feel safe going out at that time in the morning, it doesn't matter. You can go out. That's my hearing aids, have to put back in. You can go do it on the spot. You can be creative. You can have fun, but do it for yourself because your body will thank you for it. And at the moment, you and I get a lot of people contacting us and we have conversations ourselves. We're not saying we don't have these thoughts, where so many people are like, how do I know what to think? How do I know what to feel? How do I know what decision to make? Do I prep? Do I do this? Do I do that? And all of these things get better when you shift that stagnant energy. Nothing, look at a pond, if you've got a stagnant pond without water flowing through it, everything starts decaying and dying. Our bodies are exactly the same. And most importantly, our minds are exactly the same as well. So you cannot find any of this spiritual development, self-development, inner work easy if you miss out that crucial stage of exercise. It just is really going to hold you back.
Oh, absolutely. And again, I just want to reiterate, we're not saying that you have to be an Olympic athlete. And I've even said, for people who are like maybe wheelchair bound or something like that, I've shared this story before about a girl who got completely banged up and was in a hospital bed for a while. She was an Ashtanga practitioner. She couldn't move. So what she would do every morning is she would wake up at her normal time where she would go practice and she would breathe through her practice in her mind.
Mm.
And Akam inhales, breathe, see in her mind's eye, see her arms lifting up. And her recovery was incredibly fast. So you can, if you're in that situation where you can't, you're in a wheelchair, or you can always use your arms. There's great stuff on YouTube you can find with arm work. Or if that's not even accessible yet, just start watching.
Yes.
Just start watching them. See how it affects the mind over time. There's where there's a will, there is a way. And I think I was telling you, Catherine, and I would have as I was getting dressed this morning, somebody in the Ashtanga community I'm in posted something on Instagram, and it just, and I don't, I would have to look more into this, but it was saying that like when you exercise affects 80% of the brain, the gray brain mass or matter. Like
Mm.
it actually, so that's actually affecting your perspective on reality in a more grounded way. And yeah, it's some, I heard somebody say once, and I thought it was great, because I love tough love. Like that's how tough love to me is. That they were like, your body is a gift, how dare you not use it?
Yeah.
How dare you not use it? And I'll say too, like so I have multiple herniated disc. I have multiple herniated disc. When I am keeping up with my practice and my exercises and my core is strong, no back pain.
Exactly the same with me
Zero.
with my hips, Brice. I've shared this story before, so I don't want to bore people, but where I really upped my health journey to the next level, it must have been probably about 10, 12 years ago now. I was getting a lot of hip pain, and I used to do a lot of gymnastics and a lot of horse riding. So ended up having all the standard tests. MRI scan showed my hips were bone on bone. We laugh in my family because if you've got Labradors and you're going to breed them, they have to have their hips checked because they have hereditary. And we're saying in our family, none of us would have been allowed to breed because we wouldn't have passed the hip score. So we've got very shallow hip joints. Now, I was bone on bone, and the doctor was going to give me a double hip replacement, and I was like 40. I was like, not on your Nelly. One, I can't because I've got children and animals to look after, and I live in the middle of nowhere and you can't get anywhere without driving. But secondly, I was like, well, I feel really healthy. Obviously, I wasn't as healthy as I thought I was. So it was a really brilliant wake up call for me. So I said, are you not even going to ask me about my diet and my lifestyle and my stress levels? Oh, it doesn't make any difference. You've just got arthritis. You've got bone on bone. There's nothing you can do about it now. I swear to you now, I'm now nearly 56. I have no hip pain at all, apart from certain movement of getting off the horse. So now instead of putting my leg backwards, I can climb over gates, I can do squats, I can do absolutely everything. No pain at all. What did I do? I paid more attention to my diet because I was eating things that, even though it wasn't really processed food as such, I was eating, for at that stage, I was eating dairy, which really was not agreeing with me. Also I started incorporating a lot more greens, and at that stage my lifestyle was really busy, so I was taking a lot of really good super green shakes, all organic and everything. The change so quickly was astronomical, and I was shocked, because this is what I want people to understand, is we don't realize, for us, our new normal becomes normal, and we do not realize how good we could feel. At that stage I wasn't overweight. On the external I looked fine, as in fit and healthy. I didn't have any obvious sort of a physical or diagnosis or anything, but I wasn't healthy because my body, I've been ignoring these signals, and I told myself I was making good food choices, and I wasn't, for my body. And so this is why I cannot tell you how quickly I reversed that. It is just unbelievable. Now, I'm not saying I haven't gone back for an MRI scan, so I don't know what the scans would show, but I'm fine. I can do everything. I have no pain at all. It's just unbelievable. And I'm just like, my goodness, thank goodness my body gave me that message. And thank goodness I was lucky enough to have a lot of health professionals that I was friends with in my life that could point out things that I had blind spots to myself and couldn't see myself. Because if I'd have known about it, I'd have done it, but I didn't. And then a few little tweaks where people had told me about these different things brought that into my awareness. I just completely different. So we're so lucky that everyone's got these different skills, these different gifts, and can share these things with us, because if not, I'd have had a double hip replacement at 40, and then they only last sort of 20 years. I'll be looking at another one coming up soon.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah. And that's the thing. Whenever I have a student come in and say, oh, I have back pains, I can't, I'm like, I got multiple herniated disc. All right, you got back pain. If you're listening and you have back pain, try doing a 30-second forearm plank every day, just to strengthen your core. Whenever I feel any type of tenderness in my back, I know, I got to get my core is weakening. I got to get my core strong. Also, you know, like I'll put, and as you're saying that, Catherine, when we get off, I'll put on my community tab. I have videos of like hip stretches you can do to get the blood flowing. Because sometimes back and hip issues are very, lower back and hip issues are very connected.
Yeah,
Very, very connected. Sometimes people will have back pain and it's really just a tight hip. Sometimes people will have back pain or a hip pain and it's a tight back. They're
yeah.
very interconnected. And so with that being said, we can work with that. You mean to tell me that if you believe in God or higher consciousness or any type, we'll just say God for lack of a better word. If you believe, you mean to tell me you believe in a God that's so genius that this God created all the humans, all the animals, all the earth, but he gave you a faulty body? No. He gave you a body that's going to bring you lessons so you learn how to find that spiritual, that grit inside of you. There's nothing, I mean, I'm grateful for medicine for a lot of ways. There's a lot of things medicine does do, but with situations like this, like Catherine said, if she got those hip replacement, there's going to be a whole other slew of problems. And it's a foreign object in the body, you know, and I know for me, I had spinal surgery at 17, didn't fix anything because now I have herniated disc. Like, but you know what? I'm actually kind of grateful because now I have a barometer to see how strong my core is. And I'm 40 now, and I'm very proud of the fact that I have a six pack at 40, right? But I earned it. I worked for it, and my back is thanks for that. Like I thank you, back. You know, and I will say, you know, when I was teaching Mysore, on top of that, I was lifting and carrying as a Mysore teacher, you're in there, you're spotting people, you're flipping them, you're pulling their legs back. You have to be strong as a Mysore teacher. And I would not have been able to do my job if I was not strengthening my body and doing strengthening my core. And so I will put on my community tab a hip opening stretch I give people. I think I have some plank stuff on there, just, and that you could just start off doing that and just build from there. Build from there. I know one of the giveaways that I'm going to be giving away today is a gift certificate to a month of Marnie Alton's website, whom I love.
Yes,
I am such a fangirl. She's supposed to come on my channel at some point. We're trying to schedule it, but she is such a beautiful soul, and the things that she says in her classes are just so powerful. And what did she say in one of her classes? Don't go somewhere new, grow somewhere new, grow. So, and that's part of that physical exercise. And she said one thing in one class, I thought she's so right. We talk so much about in our community about being awake, waking up. Really waking up is feeling your body.
Absolutely. And it's always given clues. I mean, I know a lot of people know about the emotional links to diseases, but that's why I just started going to the gym again, because I noticed I'd been working very hard and got into some bad habits, because I used to have even more of a physical job and be lifting 20-kilogram sacks all the time and everything with my herbalism job. And I haven't been doing that so much recently. And I noticed I was losing the core strength. So I thought, okay, fantastic. I better do something about it then. And it's fun. It's fun sort of re-getting back there again. And we're all going to slip into bad habits at times. There's nothing wrong with that at all. It's when you recognize it, then you feel really good when you do something about it. And if you've got an accountability buddy, it really, really helps, I find. So if you've got someone in your life, whether it's a friend, a family member, a child, you know, doing these things with your children is brilliant. If not your dog, just having an accountability buddy really, really helps keep you going. Someone that can really G you up when you're sort of your little voice in your head sort of saying, oh no, just stay in bed. If you've committed to do it to someone else, you're much, much more likely to stick at it and work through that. So should we go on to our giveaways in a sec?
Yeah, and I'm actually pulling up. Can we share? Can I
Yeah.
share screen, Catherine? Because I just want to show. Because I'll announce because I'm going to be periodically giving away gift cards to a month with Marnie Alton, and that's one thing too. Like you're saying about going to the gym or going to a yoga shala when you're new and you need the accountability. That's a great thing to do because you actually and you become friends. Like I know the yoga shala, everybody knows each other. You become friends with people. It becomes like this little club, you know, that you're a part of every day. And so that helps with that accountability if you actually get up and go somewhere. But so I'm going to go ahead and share this, but if you can't do that, and I'm going to be giving away periodically a month membership to Marnie Alton's website. She's actually, I think she's quite cheap for what she offers. It's only $40 US a month for unlimited access to her
That's
website.
brilliant. That's
And
absolutely brilliant.
she has a year membership for like $300, which is so incredibly cheap for what she offers. And she puts up like a couple of new videos every single week. So she has a library. Now this is my account. So you can see here, I really only do her 60-minute classes because that's where I am. Again, that's where my resistance is. Because I've been doing this for a very long time. I love the bar because it brings so much strength into the body. Now she also has 45 minutes. She also has under 30 minutes. And look, guys, she has workouts under 20 minutes. There's an 11-minute stretch and flow. It's 11 minutes, 41 seconds.
That's fantastic.
Who doesn't have 11 minutes to dedicate to themselves, right? She has no equipment workouts. So, and she, even with her workouts with the balls and the weights, she does explain usually in the beginning, if you don't have weights or a ball, no big deal. You don't need them. You don't need them. So she has a low impact. So for those that are worried about the impact, look, she's got a chair here to show you how to work with a chair. 20 minutes, shoulders and back stretch, chair right here. She's amazing. And so stretching, she has like a focus probably is where she has the meditation. She has meditations. And you can even make your list of favorites. And she's just such, and you can see right here. So there's a 60-minute live. You can practice with her live on the 20th, and then a 30-minute ballet sculpt the 24th. And she keeps it. So that's one thing I like about her website too, her platform as well, is that she creates the classes that she drops are all live, and then they save so you can go back and do them again. But again, for like 10 minutes, people are just chatting to each other. Oh, hey, to each other in the live. She's communicating with you in the live. There are a bunch of kids that join in. She has one episode she talks about, she's got her friendship bracelets on that all the little kitties center. So it's a great community and it's exciting. And I really, the days that I do her classes, I actually thoroughly enjoy her as well. I enjoy her sense of humor. I enjoy all the people in the community. I don't know any of them, but I see them leaving messages for each other. And it's just such an uplifting. She always does. If you go to my channel, I have shorts where I'll film the end of classes where she talked about like what loyalty is a lifestyle. Then one day she woke up and realized validation was only for parking. It makes me emotional, the things that she says at the end, because these are the realizations you have when you start to actually commit time to yourself. And so again, this is what I'm going to be. And this woman, she's in her mid-40s. I mean, look at her. She looks like she's 20 herself. She's beautiful, but she's in her mid-40s. And so I'm going to be doing this occasionally. I'll be giving away a month membership to subscribers to try this out and see how they like it on me, so that they can decide if this is a good option for them. So should I announce that? Because I know
go for it. Who's the lucky person?
Catherine's going to be actually drawing, because I had 4 different giveaways because of the Monday video, the Tuesday video. I thought I'd just do it all in one go. I pre-drew, but next week I'll draw live too. So Carolyn Carr, you are a winner of Marnie Alton's 1 month unlimited. So Carolyn Carr, I need for you to email me at esotericatlanta@gmail.com and put Marnie in the subject line so that I have your email address. I don't need your address for this because I send it to your email. So all I need is your email address for me to send you. Basically, it's going to be a gift card I'm going to send you. And when you decide you want to do it, when you start it, that's when the month unlimited starts. So it's not going to start the day that you email me. It starts the day that you actually decide to activate it. All right. So Carolyn, CAROLYN, Carr, CARR, Miss Carolyn Carr, send me an email with Marnie in it. Should I keep going, Catherine?
Keep going.
Okay. So for the Asea Renew from my channel, the $145 product, the anti-aging face cleaner. Let's say if I say this right.
It's not just a face cleaner. It's that kit is amazing. You've got the foaming cleanser. You've got the balancing toner. You've got the glow serum and the beautiful moisturizer. That kit is amazing.
And I'll tell you.
Yeah.
So April and I did a show on the anti-aging face stuff, and she kept saying, oh, it'll last you longer than a month. And I hadn't gotten mine yet. And I was like, yeah, right. She doesn't know how much I use. It has been well over a month, and I'm still not even like 3/4 through the product. So it's a big bang for your buck. But of course, this is coming from me. So I hope I'm saying this right. The Tippinator R. So the THETIPINATOR, and then space capital R, the Tipinator R. You won the $145 skincare system from Asea. I need you also to email me at esotericatlanta@gmail.com, and I guess just put Asea skincare in the subject line, and I actually need your mailing address. Okay, so I can send you the product. So I need your mailing address so I can send you the product. I will also email you with the shipping information, all that kind of stuff. Should I keep going for the next two? All right. So for a copy of the Sophia code, that was another thing I was giving away from my episode with Cindy and Angie. For the Sophia code, Whitney Amelie, I think I'm saying your last name right. Whitney Amelie. So Amelie is OMALLY. Whitney Amelie. Again, send me an email at esotericatlanta@gmail.com. Put Sophia code in the subject line. I need your shipping address too. I was about to say, I just need your email. No, I don't. I need your shipping address because they're going to send you the book. So I need your shipping address to send you the book. And then for the Asea Via, which I announced last week on Catherine's channel, I'm going to be sending you the source, which is the real potent one. It even smells potent when you open it. Stacy Reynolds. Stacy Reynolds. Send me an email at esotericatlanta@gmail.com with Asea Via in the subject line with your shipping address so I can send you the product. Yay. Okay.
Right. For me, I'm giving a giveaway of the beauty care skincare set that Brice just shown. I don't have one here to send you because I'm going to send it directly to the listener. So I have put everyone's names in here. I'm shaking it up. Got my glasses on because they're printed off really small. Put my hand in. I'm not looking, everyone. Who am I pulling out? Who have I got? I have got Megan Collins. Right. Megan Collins, wherever you are in the world, you need to email me at Catherine Edwards Life 17, I think. I'll put the email below. Yes, Catherine Edwards Life 17 at gmail.com. And I need from you, I need your shipping address and I need a contact number because it will come via courier. So they'll send you the notification and you will get one of those beautiful skincare sets. Honestly, you're going to love it. So whoever Megan Collins is, please, please, please send me the email as soon as possible because I want to try and get that out to you this week. Now, Brice, we are going to give a giveaway next week to everyone watching as well, aren't we? And you're lucky because we're both going to give one. This Renew 28 gel is like a miracle product. It's a miracle product for your first aid kit. We're not allowed to make medical claims, but I use it on my dogs. I use it myself. I just cut my finger really badly changing a heat lamp for the guinea pigs.
Oh, God, yes.
I'm like a walking nightmare because I try and do everything too quickly. It's brilliant for anti-aging for your skin. And if you've got any areas of discomfort, because we're not allowed to say other things, you apply it 3 times in 5 minutes. So both of us on our different channels are going to be giving away a tube of this. We will do the same. We will draw. So on both of our channels, on the videos under this, you need to write, we'll just put 28, 28, and then your name so that we can read out, we can pull all the names that have done it. And 2 lucky winners will be pulled on, this will be on Brice's channel next week, same time.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to show you guys this because I pulled, that's why I was pulling up the website if you saw me looking off in the camera. So it's the one tube. It's amazing, you guys. And I've said this before and I'll just say it again. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I've been putting this stuff on my boobs. Just thought I'd try. I've been putting on my legs and my boobs. And it's working. It's definitely, not only is it good for aches and pains, in my opinion, from my experience, again, we can't make claims, but from my own experience, it's good for aches and pains, but it's also pretty good for rejuvenating the skin as well. So you got 2 people. 2 people are going to get a bottle and it lasts forever. I've still got we have so much Renew 28 here right now. It's unbelievable. So yay. So 2 people next week.
I'm really excited about that because this will convince you. And bear in mind, this is a super concentrated redox molecule. So you can put it on your vein, you can put it in your ears, you can put it on your acupoints, you can put it on areas of discomfort, you can put it on blemishes. I use it for anti-aging. So I'm getting
Yep,
old.
here and here.
So
Yeah.
I definitely need the anti-aging properties of it. It's just fantastic. I haven't had one single person who has not had anything good to say about that. So come on, join us. Let's share the love. Keep a lookout. We will be posting the winners on our community tab and at the end of each video. You do need to contact us within that week to claim your prize, because what we can't have is things rolling over for ages.
Right.
So contact us as soon as you can. We'll put the details below the videos and I'll pin it in a comment as well. Brice's
Absolutely.
email for her giveaways, my email for mine. Well done, everyone. Get moving. Just tell us in the comments below what's working for you. Have you been inspired to start something new? Have you got something you can share with us that we can learn for? We love it. And also let us know what other topics you'd like us to talk about in our coffee chats. We're really open to suggestions.
Absolutely, for sure, for sure. I'm so excited, you guys. I can't wait to continue doing these giveaways. They're going to be so. I'm just so excited that we. There's a video dropping on my channel today with Dr. Silverman from yesterday, which Dr. Silverman wasn't even supposed to come on the channel, but he did, and he talked a lot about using the gel on the vagus nerve for like anxiety and all that kind of stuff, and so I can't wait to. And I told him that Cap and I were going to be doing this, and because Asea has been so good to us, we want to pay it forward to you guys and have you guys experience this miracle of an elixir that it doesn't, I want to be clear to say it's not taking away things like exercise, but it's helping you have the quality you're looking for in these experiences. So and I'm so excited. I can't wait to hear about the people that won the face.
I
the
can't
face
wait.
stuff.
Please let us know what you think of it. Do give us feedback and everything, because we want to know what you think. But we really love showing this because they're things that we love. So we'll be
Yes.
back next week. Thank you so much for everyone watching. See you soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen. And if you feel inspired, please do share with your friends and family. My goal is to inspire as many people as I can to live their best lives, to stay curious and to raise their consciousness and that of the collective. So to do this, I need to reach as many people as possible, and this needs your help. If you feel drawn, would you be willing to share your favourite episode with 5 different people? This helps us spread the word and also helps me encourage some exciting new guests to take part in this podcast. If you feel drawn to do that, I will be very, very grateful. All the links and discount codes where applicable for all the products that I support are on my 2 websites, catherineedwards.life and catherineedwardsacademy.com. All of the products are personally tried and tested by me, my family, and my clients. And finally, please do press the follow or subscribe button, depending which platform you're listening on. And above all, stay curious and stay free.